Okay. Good evening, everyone. Calling to order the meeting of the Select Board for Monday, September 18th, 2023 at 6 p.m. This will be a quick meeting. If folks are having conversations in the hall, just be mindful that we're in a meeting. Hey, Dave Carr, can you tell folks if they're having conversations? We'll be done in just a few minutes. We just have to have this meeting. Thank you, sir. All right. First, note that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast on Sterling-Lancaster television. And I will start with a roll call. Ms. Turner?
Here. Mr.
Allison?
Here.
Mr. Kerrigan is here. Okay, we are all present. Next is approval of the meeting minutes for September the 5th of 2023.
I'll offer a motion to approve the minutes of September 5th, 2023.
Second.
Okay. All right. Next is under administration, budget, and policy.
Take a vote.
Oh, sorry. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Nobody opposed. The minutes are agreed to. Next is administration, budget, and policy. The first item is Kalen Farms relative to the town's right of first refusal on a parcel of land. Kate, can you give us the thumbnail on it so that...
Yes, I can. Sorry.
No problem.
Yep. So I'm just wanted to get the accurate thing. So in August, Kalon Farms sent the required notice to sell a 2-acre portion of a 4-acre lot in town for residential non-chapter 61A purposes. So I had written back at that time because the notice of intent to sell didn't meet all the requirements. At a basic level, it was unclear which 2-acre portion of the 4-acre lot they were selling because it didn't include the adopted A&R. So we just received the A&R last week, which the planning board had approved earlier in the summer. It also, I had asked a question, although not part of what is required, just in order for me to brief the board on what was happening. I was asking what was the plan for the other 2 acres of the 4-acre parcel, and then moreover, how do those 4 acres relate to the other farming parcel? Just so that the board could have a clear picture of that. I have not gotten a response to that. Counsel for the Kalon Farms people have said that they're only representing Kalon Farms on the 2-acre land sale and that they didn't have any information to offer for the others. So the central question for you this evening has not really anything to do with those things, although it's good to keep in the back of your mind. It is whether the select board is interested in acquiring this land. And so if the board has no interest, despite the fact that the letter was substantially incomplete, if there's no interest, you could issue the waiver. Like I said, even if the notice to intent to sell is deficient. But if you do wish to acquire the land, we would need to discuss that in a public hearing. We would need to identify a funding source, and then that would require another town meeting vote. And if you are planning to borrow the money to pay for it, which is about $900,000, that would likely require either the use of the entirety of the town's free cash or another borrowing authorization, neither of which I think are in the best interest of Lancaster financially.
Okay, any discussion? Oh, in need of a microphone.
Sorry about that.
Quite all right. There you go. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay. Can I hate to do it? Yep.
Sorry.
It's quite all right.
Thank you, Kate. And to everyone out there, the mask is for others. I have a cold, but I have been testing and I am negative, COVID negative, but still not feeling well. So I'll try not to breathe on you. As far as the first right of refusal, Chapter 61 has been a very powerful tool, both to protect open space and to help farmers such as Kalon Farms and others in Lancaster over time. And the select board has over time assigned their rights to other nonprofits, and in some cases, to the town itself to purchase. As recently as, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the town assigned the rights of Chapter 61 to the field that abuts the, on Deer's Horn Road, and that was protected through the land trust and sold to a farmer to continue farming it, and it would be permanently protected. So it cost the town nothing, but it protected the land on the field on Deer's Horn Road that everybody is very familiar with. We've also used it in the past to gain conservation land and to link trails. This parcel was Kalen Farms parcel in general, not this 2-acre parcel, but the Kalen Farms farm in general, is a very visible, very environmentally sensitive area. And when people such as Kalen Farms or Keith Copley enter into Chapter 61, there's very strict laws about what you get in return for your 90% tax reduction. And one of those is that the town has the right to first refusal or to assign it to others should they choose to. I believe Kate did admirable work in trying to get this process completed based on the emails that I have seen and the paperwork that's before us. I would encourage us as a matter of policy, which we used to do. We were encouraged by North Country Land Trust, NWRA, and others to take the full time. So Kate, when was the full time? The 120 days is supposed to start from the time that we received the completed application. Do you know what date that was?
So the completed application would include the map, and that was last week whenever I sent it to you all. But just for the record, the land trust was sent the same package as the board, as was, I think, a trails committee, a forestry committee, which the town doesn't have a seated one right now, but at least went to the PO box. So those entities haven't come forward. I suspect because part of the 2-acre parcel in question is landlocked.
Well, they just sent that last week?
No, they sent that. I don't know whether theirs was incomplete. Ours was incomplete. All I'm saying is I was provided with the certified mail receipts that they sent to the Forest Committee, Conservation.
I believe you that you're doing it.
No, I didn't. They did it. But I don't know whether those were also incomplete. The only one I know was incomplete was the one to the select board, because those weren't addressed to us.
I see. So you mean the applicant sent them to those?
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's unusual, because it's our responsibility.
Yeah.
So what I would encourage the board
Here's the other one.
to use this powerful tool in the way that we have been and have been encouraged by all kinds of advocacy groups to do it, and is common practice also what they know. I know that they're very eager because they have built a house on this property, which is another question, but that's a completely different question, which is reflected in the price. But I believe that we should be consistent in our application, and this is the way we've done it in the past, and
Sure,
for
so
good reason.
I just want to try to clarify what you're asking of the board. You'd like us to use the full 120 days before we determine whether or not we are going to exercise our first right of refusal. Is that what you're saying?
At the outset, yes, the 120 days. I would hope that we could be able to finish this up in a more meaningful way by notifying conservation and other things.
Why?
And the others.
They were.
Yeah, I mean, so there's,
You mean Kalen Farm sent that out? Well,
yeah, that's what we've said now.
Do you want to see it?
Yeah.
Please.
On 7/31. So they all received it by registered letter, certified mail on 7/31.
You said the land trust, so I just didn't see that one. Is it here? No, I guess they didn't send it to them.
If you could
Is
flip it over.
here? Is it over here? I don't know, I missed it.
So I guess I'm just trying to clarify what you're what your proposal is.
My proposal is to be consistent with every piece of property, and just because, as we have in the past, take our time to try to benefit the town.
What would
So take the
consistent look
time.
like?
Be consistent would be taking the time for the right of first refusal.
But what does that mean? Just
That we could
taking
take-
120 more
we could
days?
take-
Or
No, not just to kick the can, but to take the 120 days, so we, the town, could look at our master plan, could look at planning, could look at that. There seems to be some other issues too
Sure.
that maybe help to clean up. I don't mean to hold up Mr. Copley or anybody else, but this was not done in accordance with the law. And
No, I understand that. I guess, well, just, it's not, all the i's have been dotted and t's have been crossed, I think is what she was suggesting, right? You weren't suggesting they were breaking the law.
No, but there's been a lot of, the application has been fraught with problems, and we just got the completed application.
Well, let's not say that in a public meeting. We know it's incomplete. We have not said it's fraught with problems.
It is not incomplete anymore.
It's not
Right.
incomplete anymore.
But it was, ours was incomplete. I don't know if the other entities
other entities
received.
So, Mr. Chair, what I believe is in front of the board is to ask the board if we have an appetite to acquire the property at approximately $900,000. I would love to acquire every piece of property that we can. However, the funds will not be there. They are not there, and there's no expectation in 120 or 1,020 days that they will be there. So as much as I appreciate the desire to take our time for the sake of taking our time, there's just no way for, in my opinion, the town to take this property, and based on what the town administrator has said and the due diligence she has done, one of the property's landlocked. So as it's documented today, I'm not even sure we would want it like that. So thank you.
So has anybody, Kate, has anyone from any of those organizations, Land Trust, anybody else reached out to us to inquire about it?
The chair of the planning board has sent, he had sent an email to you all and me last week, and then he wrote one today. I just didn't get a chance to read it before I got here, and I don't have any internet.
But
He's there.
he's right there. Hi, Frank. But not on behalf of the Land Trust.
Not on behalf of the land trust, no.
Okay.
I think, speaking as the planning board,
Frank?
You were speaking on behalf of the planning board? Had your board taken a position on it? Is that what you were?
Well, we're in a rather awkward position because this was not disclosed to the planning board until September, even though the original application came in according to the stamp on July 26th. We would have liked to have known about this prior to the A&R. However, for clarification on the A&R, we were told that the landlocked portion was being appended to the neighboring 51 plus acres, so that that would all just stay in chapter 61 and would not affect anything. However, the purchase and sale agreement we were sent, I believe, is fatally flawed because it adds a house to the process. The house wasn't there, and they're supposed to sell the land out of 61.
Right. I understand that. I understand that. I'm just trying to get some clarity about it.
Beyond that, the land, we always ask for 120 days because the right is fully assignable. The assumption is that regarding the cases that the town did not acquire the land, but the 120 days might allow it to preserve, purchase by another farmer, et cetera, et cetera. So I completely agree with Jason's comments that, no, we don't want to spend $900,000 on this land. But I think the real price may be less, and more to the point, than many of the other organizations out there that could take the action in keeping 60.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So what I'm hearing is the suggestion that we just hold on to it. Our right for 120 days.
We should hold on to it till a time it's reasonable to do a little more research. I believe that the land would be,
But so let me ask you a question. Who do you envision doing that research? Because if we're not
Typically-
going to purchase it, then,
well, typically what happens, for example, based on my understanding of Chapter 61, and I have been involved in the sales in the past and the purchases,
Right.
I believe it would be, the purchase price would be $96,000, which is a much lower number than the improved price for the house, obviously. I think, so if we
So you're at-
notify the land trust, there is signees, the North Country Land Trust, other people who have bought or have served as an agent, NWRA, and so on now, and take a month, say, and also ask council to look at the packet, the submission, then that would be, I think, beneficial to the town and fully within our rights.
Right.
Alex, are you offering to take this over and work with the land trust to figure out a plan over the next 30 days?
I'd be happy to do that, but I think that I probably should recuse myself because I don't know how I fit in. I am a member of the land trust. Is that,
I don't feel like that's a conflict.
all right? Yes,
Fantastic.
I'd be
So
happy.
we will await word, but the clock is ticking on 120 days. That starts July 27th or the 31st.
Starts
when we
when the
receive
packet's complete.
We'll get you the date.
So just to confirm, 30 days from now, Alex, you'll be able to bring this back to the select board with status and proposal, et cetera?
That's the
October 16th, your
October 16th meeting, yes.
Alex, is that satisfactory?
That's fine. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Okay, fantastic. Next item, Ms. Turner, you asked us to add FEMA flood maps to the agenda.
I did. I know they were sent to us, and they made an appearance on our last agenda, but we didn't get a chance to speak to them. For a couple reasons, and it's funny, ironically, we were looking at these prior to last Monday's storm, because I looked at the maps and it looked like there was some significant changes to the flood maps, particularly in our commercial industrial zones, which I think we need to incorporate and post as much as we can for planning purposes. The other thing is, as I was rereading the cover letter today, I noticed that it's, because things weren't lining up to me, they refer to the town of Ashburnham. So if you would like, we'll follow up with FEMA and find out what the problem
No.
is here or no.
No. So what is your question?
We have.
So
this
we
is
have the FEMA maps that are in the packet that were sent to us in August.
Mhm. Correct.
And you're suggesting we use the 90-day,
No, I don't want to use the
What do you-
90-day appeal period.
And what do
It was
you
more
suggest?
informational. They've given us, other people as well, notice as requisite. This is the final draft.
No, I understand
So I
that.
think this was just to make people aware of it, but also some of the maps, as I was reading them, and I'm sure there are
can you
others.
point to them, which one you're reading? Just so I know what you're talking about.
There aren't any maps attached here. Some of the maps, when I went into their website to look at the maps,
Yeah, keep going.
weren't lining up, and I didn't know if it had anything to do with the reference to Ashburnham, or if that was just,
So I guess
typo.
what's the question? Are you
the
hoping
the
to?
question was more just informational, that we were just supposed to let people know to check their property, neighbor's property, bring it to the attention of the
Got it.
planning board, because it's going to affect the,
Yeah,
And I
And
updated
the-
the GIS.
it's up.
excellent,
Yeah,
excellent, thank you.
all that's been done and it is updated.
So it was more, as I think it was intended to do, to be be informational.
Okay.
Yeah, so I put it in correspondence last time because it was an action that the town had to take, but we did. So
Excellent.
Jasmine and I worked on that before she left. We also met with the ArcGIS folks and updated those parameters. So all of the maps that planning uses will have the new floodplains in there, as does Permit Pro, which is the software that we're also trying to port over for conservation uses.
Fantastic.
Excellent, thank
Okay,
you.
great, thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is disposition of September 18th, 2023 special town meeting warrant articles. That is for tonight in 40 minutes. So the question is, there are 4 articles on the warrant tonight. Article 1 on the school building, Article 2 on the Water Enterprise Fund to amend it. Article 3 is the supplemental classification plan for emergency services, and number 4 is for a zoning bylaw change for accessory apartments. And so I think the question is, the townspeople would like to know whether we recommend them with affirmative action, no action, or negative action.
Mr. Chair, I move to, I'd like to make a motion to endorse Article 1, the Neshoba Regional High School new building.
Is there a second? There is a second? Okay. There's a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's 3 ayes. All right. On to number 2.
Mr. Chair, I move to endorse Article 2, amend water enterprise,
And by endorse, you mean recommend affirmative action.
recommend affirmative action.
Is there a second?
Second, do we make a recommendation on this article?
We can.
The DPW? Okay.
I mean, we can just say what we're, if people are wondering, it's really for the DPW board, but,
Okay.
is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Article 3,
I move to recommend affirmative action for Article 3, supplemental classification plan for emergency services.
is there a second?
Second, is the chart and the printed one out there?
It's in the warrant.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Article 4.
Mr. Chair, I move to endorse, or move to recommend affirmative action for Article 4, amendments to zoning bylaw accessory apartments.
Is there a second? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Well done, everyone. All right, now, next, we have a license permit request for the use of the Town Hall Auditorium. Does someone want to read that?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the request for use of the Town Hall Auditorium, organization Friends of Thayer Memorial Library, event Friends of Thayer Memorial Library Annual Book Sale, date of the event Tuesday, September 26, 2023 through Wednesday, October 11th, 2023.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion other than it's fantastic, everyone should go to it? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Next is in communications. We have a special town election called for Monday, September 25th, 2023. Polls will be open at the Old Town Hall from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The next 2 select board meetings will be held on the following dates: Monday, October 2nd, 2023, and October 16th of 2023, both at 6 p.m. That takes care of the business before the select board for this evening.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 We are adjourned.